What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So I was checking out Otto Wallin's video. And I'm not big on shit talking. Y'all guys know that, all you guys know that about me. I'm just not, it does nothing for me. Okay. But the shit talking that people do, it's if you come up on the short end of the stick, even if it's to the point where you aren't even competitive, it's wise to just say, hey, look, man, just be honest about what you said and why. Okay. It always comes down to people saying they were just trying to sell a fight. Well, Otto Wallin said he basically was kind of hoping there was a situation where AJ was distracted and he wasn't himself, that he was more focused on everything else. And if you notice, every fighter that talks bad about AJ, they always talk about his focus. He's fragile in the mind. He's right. Well, Otto Wallin made no excuses that AJ was just better and did everything he was supposed to do. He did what he did better than him. What else is he supposed to say? You understand what I'm saying? So, I can respect that. Being honest about, hey, look, man, I thought that I was going to be able to do this and that, but he just did everything better. He was better than I hoped he would be. Okay? So when I said he's talking a lot of shit, he better back it up. Because what happened, let's look at Wallin, for example. When he beat Fury, fought Fury, and most people thought he beat Fury. Then a lot of people thought he beat Fury. Then a lot of people felt like he gave him a good fight. And bottom line, did way better than people anticipated, because nobody knew who the hell Otto Wallin was. So that fight put him on the map as far as people paying attention to him as a fighter. And he wound up getting there with Dominic Brazil, which is a guy who fought Anthony Joshua, also fought Deontay Wilder. He got beat by both of them. And he went in there and he put it on him. And of course, Brazil was washed up at that point anyway, completely done. And so basically, Otto Wallin had a little, he had like a big following or nothing. He had a little attention, put it like that. No real buzz, but got a little attention. With AJ going through his meltdown and losing to Usyk and all of this, it's like I said, people, they write you off, and then other people try to ride that wave. So what I didn't respect about Otto Wallin is not because it's AJ. Okay, I don't care who it is. I don't respect any fighter for this. When a fighter doesn't look so good, and you think that fighter's vulnerable, now I want to fight that guy. That makes you look like a coward, because it's like, well, if you now all of a sudden feel like you want a shot because you think he's washed up, then what did that win do for you? Like when Trevor Burbick beat Muhammad Ali and he was in there crying and hollering and telling him, "You made me, man." Like, Ali is done, man. He made you what? And Trevor Burbick wound up getting he wound up winning the title. Mike Tyson took it from him, but nobody will ever bring up that win against Ali like it was a big accomplishment. Ali was done, completely done, and he went the distance with you. That's the worst thing about it. Ali was done. But when you start to call somebody name, when you call a fighter out and start, and the fact of the matter is, when you're saying, he's mentally weak, I don't think that his focus is there and all that, but you want to fight him anyway. Then what does that do for you? You understand what I mean? So now you got your wish, and you found out that AJ is back where he needed to be. And so you couldn't stand up to him. But point is, so many people thought Wallin was going to win. and then he got beat up bad. And he didn't protest his corner. He said that, his cornerman has been with him all the time. He trusts his judgment, right? Listen, I can't knock him for that. But see how gracious Anthony Joshua was and said, his corner stopped it. I'm pretty sure Wallin would have continued on. He's a warrior. See, that was him being gracious. You heard me say no. He didn't protest his corner. He gladly wanted that fight to stop. You could see it in his body language and his face when he got hit with them shots. And at the end of that round, he got hit in the body. And AJ was throwing them punches hard as shit. And you could see Wallin was like, man, fuck that. Like, he was more than glad for that fight to be stopped. Simple. And the reason why a lot of people don't want to admit that is because the AJ haters is because, especially Fury fans, that's AJ haters, okay, is because he went the distance with Fury. AJ made him quit. Yeah. And don't think I didn't see that video where the Fury's family was sitting there watching AJ. And yeah, they can talk all the shit they want. Like I said, they get in front of a camera under different circumstances, and they want to go into this whole nobody can touch the Gypsy King, blah, 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 whatever the fuck. And now you hear John Fury saying that Tyson Fury's camps has been like circus acts, circus shows. They're not real training camps. And he's lacking that hunger. They think he's lived. See, the same excuses like living that lavish life bullshit. And they see how AJ look, and they know AJ is more than a threat. Now it's like, damn, they were impressed with AJ. Yeah. And I always wonder why, especially British fans, and I say that because you use the term British boxing. You know how much shit AJ's done for British boxing, for boxing in general? But for British boxing, and you guys are all Brits, and you sit there and try to kick a man when he's down. But what do you gain by doing that? I mean, fuck. AJ versus Tyson Fury could be like real life Godzilla versus King Kong shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you got two titans, but both coming from Britain. And all that trying to downplay, and that's what I'm saying. When you hear Tyson Fury, oh, he's not elite, he's not this, he's not that. So Francis Ngannou is elite. Manuel Charles elite. Derek Chisora is elite. All of the people that you tried to put get in the ring with over Anthony Joshua. And you did get in the ring with them, with the exception of Manuel Charles. But at the end of the day, you was trying to. So at the end of the day, man, it's like when you're trying to belittle your best rivals, that's completely stupid, man. Because that just basically means when you go back like a hypocrite and try to go down a list of names of all the people you beat, well, you called them bums. You said they wasn't elite. So, motherfucker, you was a big fish in a small pond. But I listened to that shit and I said, yeah, Otto Wallin, I at least salute him for being honest. Because when you got to sit up and make excuses about ring rust and cryo chambers and everything else, if it's an excuse for everybody else, then it's an excuse for me too. And that's what I'm saying. You go around trying to critique everyone else and they making excuses and they don't want to do this, they that, and they liars and they blah, blah, blah. And all the things that you say about someone else, we see it in you. We got to dig for it everywhere else because you just make up shit. So I salute Otto Wallin for just being honest about, he was dependent on AJ to not be focused. He was dependent on Anthony Joshua to really not have what it takes to win. More so than him just having the ability to just be better than AJ. And I told you guys, all these fighters talk shit, but they know. From the outside looking in, when you hear people saying like AJ can't, he's not the same fighter, he's gun shy, he can't let the trigger go, pull the trigger anymore and all that. And it's like, okay, they're saying these things. Fighters underestimate people often, and they wind up having it backfire on them. And then two, you have a situation where these fighters are more knowledgeable than the rest of you sitting up on the couch who's never fought before, who don't train to do any of that shit now. And they know that, that motherfucker's a threat. I'm a potential opponent, so I'm going to try to talk shit and try to keep him down. But no, he's still dangerous. They know that shit. They know that shit. Okay? People say Dubois is a good fighter. They call him a quitter, right? Okay. Well, Usyk fought against, Anthony Joshua 2 times. Did AJ take a knee? Did AJ quit? You understand what I'm saying? So, Dubois went in there and fought more aggressively, and he had success. He was losing every round, but he basically, we know the body shot. We know what happened. So, he went in and he went for it. But at the end of the day, when you look at who did what and how things went, my point is you start assuming Tyson Fury would beat Usyk or Wilder would beat Usyk. I bet you all them people talking about what Wilder would do to Usyk, now they going, damn. Hell no, because Joseph Parker outboxed him easily. 2 different styles though, but the smarts. You understand what I'm saying? And Usyk and Wilder, they both the same age. You understand what I mean? So when you look at that, it's like all it takes is one fight for people to change their perspective on how they see the outcome of something, right? Now, what matters is what happens if the fights actually happen. But yeah, I mean, you can't take anybody lightly. And so if you think AJ's washed up, or you thinking that he, look, then that's why I said if you pay attention to the hypocrisy, Dillian White had a debatable fight against Franklin. Was anybody knocking Dillian White for fighting Franklin? AJ don't have a belt right now. You understand what I mean? He dominated Franklin, but he got criticized for winning every fucking round of a fight. Where Dillian White got praised for getting a victory that most people thought he lost. So this is what I'm saying when you see one guy dominates and gets criticized, the other one gets praised, but they thought he really lost. Like, that makes 0 sense. So that's why I said you might not like the way he was fighting, but you can see the progression of things and putting things together. You can see what he was trying to do, and the fact that his mind was, okay, understanding what he wanted to do, how do I get it done? And then see him getting that knockout against Hellenius. Well, he's able to analyze that and have the right team with him. So now what's going on is just basically what he got going on with the trainer he's with now. Does he stay with him? We don't know, but what he's learned is obvious. It was enough to put him in a position to understand what he should be doing. And like people saying it's the best he looked in a long time, and I agree. But the point is he got to that position where people didn't think he'd get back to. So now that he's there, I'm interested to see what's going to happen in the future with different opponents. I'm really not the type of person that's into this guys fighting 3, 4, 5 times, unless it's absolutely just like nothing else on the table and they want to stay active. I mean, there's other fights out there. And when you go to your list of fighters and you look at who you fought and why you fought them, rematch clauses is always, that's different. But when you're trying to fight one guy, because a lot of times, even win, lose, or draw, certain fighters just feel more comfortable fighting certain guys. And they look at what's on the table, where the most money is, that type of thing. When there's other fights out there, make the fights happen. And you're not going to build the reputation of other fighters and recognition by keeping them out the ring. So I feel like now, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Like, we don't know. And I don't try to think too far ahead, because what we want to see, I'm not really in. I'm not a kid. I'm grown. I'm not sitting up here, I want to see this and this and this. What's going to happen is going to happen. But, there's fights we all would like to see. But, yeah. When you lose, man, just be honest. Just be honest, man. But don't be a hypocrite, even like from these critics and these fanboys and all these haters that sit up here and was betting money and talking a lot of shit that Wallin was going to destroy Anthony Joshua, because you see what he did against Fury, right? And I keep saying, these guys are supposed to be so knowledgeable in boxing, and they're going into this whole, it's either this or it's that nonsense. Like I said before, Every fight is different. And reality is the fact that Wallin did what he did against Tyson Fury. It's what I tell you guys, man. Y'all love to talk about how styles make fights. When you watch these guys and you talk about what one guy did against another, I always say, you got to understand when somebody's motivated and they're really ready to go, a person that's determined, just like in life, if somebody's fighting for their life, look at people that beat cancer. How many times have someone been told they'll never walk again? They wind up becoming a track star or a boxer. You understand what I mean? Vinny Pazienza had his neck broken. I remember the thing he had around his neck and the whole thing, and he wound up coming back to boxing. They told him he definitely would never box again. Vinny said, nah, the hell with that. Look at Danny Jacobs' situation. You understand what I mean? Gail Divas. It's like there's always some type of adversity that people will tell you what you can't do, but it's up to you. It's just like a person who determined. Think about this, for example. When kids fight, usually they cry, right? Somebody get punched in the face, they cry. Yeah. You know, all of a sudden you get older, that crying shit stops, right? You got grown people get punched in the face and cry. Everybody don't have the same stuff inside. Believe me, you can tell yourself nobody can. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't mean when people have more ego than ability. I'm talking when somebody's really determined, they solid, and you think Holyfield little ass could do what he was doing because he didn't believe in himself? Nah. It takes a certain kind of person to be able to overcome certain things. And that's why you see a guy get dropped. Then all of a sudden you see him get hit with a heart bomb and don't go anywhere. It's just certain people can tap into certain things inside that other people can't. You understand what I mean? You got grown-ass men walk around the hood all night talking gangster shit, but they scared to watch a fucking horror movie. So, you understand what I mean? You can't put limitations on people. That's why I always say, don't let nobody tell you what you can and can't do. Don't let nobody put you in the frame of mind to tell you can't do this because I did this or I didn't do that. Or, you know, I remember it's times as a kid growing up, you know, you got people scared of a certain guy. I wouldn't fight that motherfucker. Would you fight him? Like, motherfucker, I'll fight anybody. What the fuck you mean? Like, because they're afraid of that person. And they say we can't do, no, say you can't. Me and you are not the same. Don't say we, say you. Speak for you, don't speak for me. And that's the thing that people like to do. It's like if you're not rich and you say, I'm loving life. Man, how could this motherfucker be loving life? He ain't rich. Shit. Right? Because people had told you there's no way in hell that you can be happy and you're not rich. Why? You got rich people. You only got two types of people, rich people and poor people. No in between. You always hear all these stupid conversations, these little mindsets that people are programmed to have. So, yeah, you know. It's like you take, for example, one guy loses a fight and can admit that, hey, the other guy was just better than me. Simple. Versus, oh, a vending machine defeated me. My costume was too heavy, and I had my water poisoning. Even though my test came back clean, somehow they put the hooju's on me and all this kind of other shit. This was wrong. That was wrong. You know, and yet people make excuses. I wouldn't allow anybody to make excuses for me like that. I wouldn't. That's why I do videos. I show my face. I don't sit behind a keyboard and talk shit. You got these guys sit up and be talking massive shit. You don't know what the fuck they look like, right? But they talk shit. I'm not here to talk shit. But if I say anything, I'm more than willing to back that shit up. So what I'm saying is, when you speak and you talk and you fall short, the excuses make you just look stupid. Because you're going to find yourself every time you fall. But what happened was, no, you just lost. The better man won, and it wasn't you. So I do salute Wallin for actually just being honest. Because nowadays, it's hard for a lot of people to do. And the more a person whine and cry, the more people get behind them. Certain people. And they know who they are. So anyway, Talk to me about Otto Wallin. What y'all think happens with him next? Actually, I said this in my last video, but there's a lot of different ways that we can go with Deontay Wilder fighting certain people, because they'll be the first time that they fought. But we know coming off of a loss, the excuses will be, well, you know, the dude fought Deontay coming off of a loss. Well, they're so stupid that if he rematched Joseph Parker, they'd be saying, oh, but Joseph Parker fought Deontay coming off of a loss, and Joseph is the one that just beat him, right? But this is what I'm going to say. That's how dumb they are. But this is what I'm going to say. Out of all those scenarios, this is what I say Wilder could do. Okay? Just 2 fights I'm going to put up. 1, rematch Joseph Parker. Since you're saying you're so much better than him, right? And that there's no way you should have lost. Okay. So rematch him. Or 2, fight Otto Wallin. And let's see what you can do, Otto Wallin. Since y'all both coming off of losses. Okay, and y'all both got beat up pretty soundly, okay? And the only thing, like I said, that I don't like about the rematch, which I really don't care, you know, but the only thing I don't like about the rematch is if it's like you're trying to give this man another chance after he got his ass whooped and didn't hold his end of the bargain up. Okay, he had the same opportunity that AJ had. You fought a guy AJ already beat, and people talking about, oh, they gave Wilder the harder competition in Joseph Parker when they all wrote Joseph Parker off, and all you heard was people. You go look on all these videos, look in the comment sections, and look at how everybody was saying Joseph Parker going to sleep between 1 and 3 rounds, 1 and 2 rounds. But all of a sudden now he was the harder competition. Oh, because he was active in every excuse that you can think of. So, and the simple fact that I don't like the fact that he sat back there and said, if AJ lose, then the fight is no need for the fight. It's not going to happen. Okay. AJ didn't lose, you did. But now you crying about opportunity. Same guy that says he never had the opportunities that AJ had. Yet he turned the fight down with AJ. He did several times. So, yeah. What y'all think about that? Rematch Parker or fight Otto Wallin? Yeah. Now let's see what you can do with Otto Wallin. That's what I say. All right. Enough talk. Catch y'all on the next one.